Sunday's Super Six wraps up this season's schedule after nearly £2 million in prizes given away since August. Simply predict 6 scores for free on the app or website for a chance to become this season's 4th jackpot winner. Have your say before 4 o'clock tomorrow for a shot at the £250,000 jackpot. The very best of luck. Sometimes luck is needed here at the home of football, isn't it? This is what it's all about. Not just the trophy, but what that trophy represents. The winners of that, who will be hoisting that into the Wembley sky, will have a ticket back to the Premier League. The atmosphere is building. It's a riot of noise, colour and emotion. A kick-off is in less than 10 minutes. We're not too far away at all. I'll tell you one thing we don't need. It's those big shoots of fire going up into the air pitch side here. The atmosphere is already hot enough. The players about to make their way onto a glorious-looking Wembley pitch. What's the last-minute thoughts here, Jobs? What are you saying as a player leading a team out here?
For me, it's start the game well, perhaps. Always when you come here, with the atmosphere, you've got to get through that first initial wow, because it is that when you do walk out onto this pitch, there's nowhere like it. I think those players who have experienced before are going to be massive today. Again, depending on where you are in the pitch, if it's defensive, then you get your first action, your first tackle. If you're in midfield, secure that ball and really just build your way into the game.
Given what's happened during the course of the week, not necessarily this season, Gary, have we got underdog versus underdog today?
A little bit, yeah, in some ways. I mean, it's a very unusual scenario, isn't it? The Middlesbrough haven't actually won the semi-final to get here, yet they're here against a whole team that have earned the right through 2 legs against Millwall. So I think it's a really difficult one. As a manager, you want the players to stick to the game plan. You don't want them to be overawed by the occasion or let the nerves get to them. You need them to concentrate and stay calm and do what you've worked on, you know, in the week leading up to this game.
Curtis, do Hull City make it 3-3 here in the Championship playoff final?
I think they've got every chance, you know. I think after everything, the calmness personified of Jurkovic is always there. So in terms of in the background, whilst everything was rumbling on with Southampton, with Borough, I'm hoping that he was able to keep them calm, keep them on task as to what they need to do, because that's what it's been about all season. They wouldn't have expected to have been here come the start of the season, but the fact they're here now, they've earned it. They've been in and around it all season, and this is the time now. The goal was not Wembley, the goal was the Premier League, and this is their chance.
Season goes out the window, Joby, all down to today.
No, not at all. It is about who performs today, perhaps. That's what these finals are all about. And ultimately, as we see year in, year out, who can handle the atmosphere the best generally is the one who comes through these games.
From the point of view of the players and what they've got to expect, from a management point of view, can you enjoy it, Gary?
It's very difficult. I've stood on the sideline in this very stadium. It's really difficult because the problem with this is there's going to be one winner, but there's also going to be one loser. And there is that little bit of fear. You think, please just let things go my way. Sometimes you need a little bit of fortune as well, Crooks. This is an unbelievable game, isn't it?
Well, the journey to the playoff final is never straightforward, is it? Even less so in this most unique of seasons. Right now, though, it's all about just 2 teams, Hull City and Borough. 1 game left to empty it all out here on the Wembley pitch, and the Premier League awaits the winners. Your commentary team for this one, we've got former official Mike Dean to lead us through the laws. We've got Gary Weaver, and next to him, Don Goodman.
Yes,
Gary, please
David.
Take it away.
The build-up unprecedented, the occasion unmissable, days like this unforgettable. 2 weeks which have shocked, shaken and stirred English football. Southampton shrouded in shame and expelled from the playoffs. Middlesbrough winning their biggest fight in the corridors of power just to be here today. Now they take their fight out onto the pitch where they always wanted a fair fight to be. Hull City have been caught up in this web, waiting and wondering who and when. The answer is Middlesbrough, and the time is now. Rick Parry, chair of the EFL, leading the presentation party, joined by Davnet Reid, MD of Sky Bet. They've had the wait, they've had the walk, they've got the nerves. The prize is waiting. Wembley, where the football gods live, towering up into the London sky. It is about to change lives again, about to break hearts again. The world is watching, greatness is waiting. It is touching 30 degrees in the sunshine, pitch level at Wembley. A baking hot day. It is red hot inside here. A place in the Premier League, the greatest, richest league of all, awaits. The national anthem will be performed by Adam Tucker and signed by Dave Shields.
God save our gracious King, our ever-loving King. God save the King. Set him victorious, happy
Hear that roar! Wembley at its best. The richest domestic prize of all awaits. Well, let's take a check on the teams for you. And Mo Balumi, whose magical strike at Millwall paved the path for Hull's Wembley Way walk, is fit enough to start here. He replaces the injured Kyle Joseph. Ollie McBurney swapped the Canary Islands for Hull last summer, hoping for days like this. He's on 18 goals for the season. Louis Coyle is the local heartbeat of this Hull City team. It's the same system which brought about Millwall's downfall in the semi-final second leg. Well, Alan Brown, who was part of Sunderland's playoff final win a year ago, starts here today. He is in for the injured Tommy Conway. It looks like Riley McGree will move to the left. Dale Fry won promotion with Borough a decade ago. He and Sol Bryn are the Teessiders in the starting 11. Another Teessider, Hayden Hackney, who's been out since March when Middlesbrough was second, is fit enough to be on the bench. So, Don, we were at St Mary's the night we thought Middlesbrough were out. We said that night, this might not be over yet. And it wasn't. Middlesbrough are back with us.
Yeah, and we await to see which Middlesbrough we're going to get, actually, because psychologically and physically they were spent that night. They didn't have the services, obviously, of Hayden Hackney. May be able to call on him for a little part of the game. But they've got to remove any feelings that they shouldn't be here, Middlesbrough, from their minds. As for Hull, yeah, even their preparation has been a little bit disrupted. But what a job he's done, Sergei Yakirovic, and what an opportunity they've given themselves. It's a 50-50 for me.
So, Hull City all ready to go here. Kyle Joseph missing out today, injured in that second leg against his dad's beloved Millwall. Hull City in their numbers. Once again, they've got the east end of Wembley. That is where they've been the previous two occasions here in the playoff final, when they beat Bristol City. Dean Windass with a cracker, and they beat Modiame. Oh, they beat Xavier Wednesday, Modiame with a cracker, when he smashed that ball home to take Hull City back to the Premier League. Middlesbrough have never won at Wembley. Sergei Yakirovic, a relative unknown here when he arrived in the summer, but everybody knows about him now.
I really like the way he handles himself as well, you know, Sergei Yakirovic, and Kim Hellberg for that matter. But you've got to remember where he brought Hull City from, surviving on goal difference. The final game of last season, transfer embargo. A lot of people's tipped for relegation this season. What an incredible job.
Yeah, and the big fans of each other, those two, Kim Hellberg and Sergei Yakirovic. They had a long conversation at the EFL Awards when Kim Hellberg said, we may see you in the playoffs. Here they are, and even in the tunnel for the referees meeting, after the referee walked away, those two had a conversation for a good 5 minutes afterwards. This is it then. One place left in the Premier League. Will it be Hull City? Will it be Middlesbrough? It's about to unfold. The referee is Jared Gillett. We do have VAR. Stuart Atwell at the controls of that. We have Mike Dean up here alongside us to get involved in any kind of controversy. He likes that. Hull City and Middlesbrough, a decade ago, promoted together. They've been relegated together. Now they stand together, dreaming together. But only one will get to live that dream. A playoff build-up that will be spoken about time and time again. Now time for the closing chapter and for closure.
There are a lot of people out there saying it's a second chance for Middlesbrough. I actually think it's a third chance because really, such a good team. I honestly felt that they really should have been finishing in the top two. And obviously with what happened against Southampton, the Spygate, and they're back here. This is a third opportunity, and it's one not to be missed.
And they'll be hoping third time is the charm. You just wonder how much the heat will have an impact on this today. We will have drinks breaks at around about the midway point of each half as it stands. There's Whittaker on the move for Middlesbrough, attacking the end where their fans are housed. Away by Shemi Ajayi. Boyle stands his ground.
I just wonder how much energy Middlesbrough are prepared to expend in these opening periods. We saw them dominate the opening half, really, in both legs against Southampton, but we then saw the final 30 minutes of the first leg. The energy levels dropped, the press not being as effective. And I'd say the last hour of the second leg, plus extra time, they put so much into it physically. We spoke about the heat. They're going to have to manage their physical output here.
There's Luke Ayling. Now Morris. Malanda, who will step forward into Middlesbrough's midfield as he's doing right now. In his centre-back position. Whittaker in a central position, trying to link up with David Strelec. Middlesbrough are a team who do like to attack through the middle of the opposition. Malanda again. There's Target. Now Riley McGree, who sends that ball in, and Pandor gets down to it.
We're only a couple of minutes in, but has the pattern of this game already been set in terms of territorial advantage? More of the ball for Middlesbrough. We know that Hull City are not a team that mind that scenario.
There's Malanda. Ayling, who was exceptional in that first leg draw against Southampton, doing things like this, moving up the pitch. He doesn't get the free kick that he was looking for. But with all the talk of Spygate and what Southampton had seen, Middlesbrough that particular day, matchday -2, were working on how they were going to play out from the back against Southampton, how they were going to press Southampton, how Luke Ayling was going to try and stop Finazaz, and that is what Southampton will have seen on that particular day. And once Southampton did admit to spying on Middlesbrough and other clubs, their position in the playoffs with the world watching became untenable.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people are shocked at the severity of it, but it had to be severe and it had to be a sporting sanction, and there has been precedent this season. Forget the 46 league games, this is now knockout football, and Swindon Town were thrown out of the Virtue Trophy after having beaten Luton, who then went on to win it. So flout the rules in knockout football, you get thrown out, and the team that you've beaten get put back in, and that's all that's happened. I think it's the right choice.
Yeah, the Middlesbrough hierarchy, Steve Gibson, Neil Bowser, Kieran Scott would not give up the fight.
And just to finish that, the 4 points deductions is for the other two that they admitted during that 46 game league campaign.
There's Whittaker. Middlesbrough seeing plenty of the ball in the opening stages. McBurney involved for Hull. Dale Fry, a Teessider through and through. At the heart of that Middlesbrough back line. Charlie Hughes looking to make an impact. The cross swung in, but comfortable for Solbryn.
Yeah, it's comfortable for Bryn, but that will make Hull City just feel a little bit better, spending a little bit of time in that Middlesbrough half. Can't really afford to be camped in too many long periods.
And in the regular season, it was a win for both. Middlesbrough destroyed Hull on Hull territory, 4-0 up at half-time at the start of December, just when Kim Hellberg was getting his feet under the table at the Riverside. And then later in December, Hull went to Middlesbrough and won by a goal to nil. The metrics were stacked in Middlesbrough's favour, but Hull City came away with the victory. A thing they've done many a time this season.
You look at that game and you look at the numbers, but the big thing for me about that game was Hull City really didn't give Middlesbrough a big scoring opportunity. There were lots of shots from distance, but they restricted them, and that's exactly why they're here today, because they did the same to Millwall. They totally restricted them, and it was a side of Hull City that we haven't really seen too often this season, but occasionally, like Coventry at home, where they're restricted by far and away the most prolific team in the league to absolutely nothing, so they can do it.
Chance to try and give Middlesbrough something to think about here. Aim towards Louis Coyle, who was held off by Matt Targett. This will mean everything to Louis Coyle, playing for his club and his people, wearing the captain's armband here today at Wembley. Forward by Targett. There's Dale Fry. Now the experienced Luke Haley. In the playoffs with Yeovil. Saw Brentford. Targett, who's won them with Fulham, and he's trying to set Whittaker away here, but Pandor in command inside his box.
Yeah, excellent decision-making, starting position for Pandor.
He's been to Wembley once before, that was for the boxing.
Times this season where he has been left exposed. Not many goalkeepers had to make more saves than him in the Championship.
There's Malander. That Kim Hellberg believes does have a future if he wants it in that central midfield position. He's stepped into from the start here. We saw him do that against Millwall in the regular season. It took Millwall a while to get to grips with him. He eventually did. That was around Easter time. Hayden Morris. Malander involved again. Sets of players did get the chance to look around Wembley yesterday just to get a feel for the place, to take the pictures, to see where their families will be, where they will be as well. Now down to business here today. McBurney, nicely done. Lumi waiting just on the edge of the box, but Dale Fry gets to it. It's the link play of Ollie McBurney.
Yeah, brilliant holding play. Ian Miller for the elaborate, really, with the outside of the right boot. It's going to take something special.
Big boost that Hull City are able to start with Mo Balumi here today. He's had his problems with his hamstring injuries. Once again, we saw what he was capable of in that second leg against Millwall.
It's almost the become a little bit of a game of chess here, a little bit of cat and mouse. Slowed right down the first 2-3 minutes. Middlesbrough really on the front foot.
Well, Ayling was trying to pick out the run of Callum Britton. Well, look, we know that Middlesbrough didn't start properly training again until Thursday. Kim Helberg did have the intention of sticking to the schedule that he put in place had Borough won their playoff semi-final, but he said it just didn't feel right. So the players got back down to serious business on Thursday. From Hull's perspective, they were preparing to face Southampton, and then when the news came through that Southampton were expelled, then they focused on Middlesbrough. They've only had a few days too to get to grips with this. Malanda. There's Morris, the busy Aidan Morris, looking for Alan Brown. Back to Morris. Brown clattered, he stays down. And Middlesbrough for now down to 10 as the referee plays the advantage.
You know, if he stays down, he's hurt. Unfortunately for Middlesbrough, it was a crunching coming together. Matt Crooks it is that makes the challenge, and he lunges in there and he just catches Alan Brown on top of the foot. I do think he's genuinely going for the ball. To say it's low, Mike, isn't it? Too low for a red.
It's probably just about a free. I think it's a free kick. Probably should have given it, to be honest with you. But he's gone in for the ball. He's took like half a step. Alan Brown kind of think he's going to get there, then gone again. Then when a challenge is coming, he's caught him on the top of the foot. So for me, it's a genuine attempt, just top of the foot. He's probably just at the end of his toes, the way the boots are made nowadays.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we can understand why it hurt, though. Why Alan Brown is on the ground. As I said, he's not the kind of player that is going to stay down unless he's really hurt, Alan Brown.
Well, you wonder what Hayden Hackney has in the tank. He hasn't played for Middlesbrough since the middle of March. He went off against Bristol City at the time. Borough were leading by 1-0 at the time. They were second in the table. Fair to say a few things have happened since.
Yeah. There's a lot of late goals against them that really cost Middlesbrough. I was saying, and I've said all along, I rate them massively highly. Really good team. Just that lack of ruthlessness in front of goal proved costly towards the end of the season.
Well, it looks like he's okay to continue for now, Alan Brown. Kim Helberg just checking on his well-being. Tommy Conway definitely out of this, as you can see. Terrible heartbreak for him. That injury against Southampton in the second leg has put him out of this and the World Cup. But he's such a fighter, such a character, Tommy Conway. And the squad glad that he's here today, because he is infectious, his energy. As we saw earlier, Kyle Joseph also here for Hull City. Nobody wants to miss this. Alan Brown waiting to come back on. There's the experienced John Egan. Now Matt Crooks facing his former club as Alan Brown is waved back onto the pitch. Shemi Ajayi. Crooks. McBurney having to stretch. Ajayi. McBurney involved again. Was the trainer thought that maybe Ollie McBurney would replace Tommy Conway in the Scotland World Cup squad, but that didn't happen. Ross Stewart got the call instead. And Ollie McBurney not off to the World Cup finals with Scotland despite his incredible season.
Yeah, I've got to confess, I do find that baffling and bamboozling, if I'm honest. Wonderful season he's had. Got him for nothing as well.
Yeah, they had to with the embargo.
How well have they done? Shout out to the recruitment team. Players that they attracted with no money.
Whittaker looking to move up the gears. Egan is in the way. There's Whittaker again. Malanda. Target. Morris to Whittaker. Neatly done from Middlesbrough until that moment there, but there's Ayling. Miller looking to lead the breakout for Hull, but Aidan Morris will pick up for Middlesbrough. Ayling, Morris again, who's really had to step up in the absence of Hayden Hackney. Slater tries to get to it. Strelets. There's Morris on the move. It's Aidan Morris, who's never scored for Middlesbrough.
He's claiming it took a nick on the way through. Certainly didn't look overly obvious. It's another long-range effort from Middlesbrough. The first one was blocked. This one, well, he drags it either way, doesn't he? Does it get a nick? It's not easy to see, so it's not easy for us to see. Very difficult for the officials to see.
81 games and counting without a goal for Aidan Morris, but he, luckily for him, I suppose, provides a lot more than that. Fantastic, important player in this Middlesbrough team. There's Strelets. Target. Handball off Louis Coyle, and Strelets wasn't hanging around. Coyle again. Target. Aidan Morris. Strelets waits in the middle as Malanda. Target goes in low. It's well defended as Strelets trying to make that count. McGree looking to get onto that. Ajayi in the way. Good spell this from Middlesbrough, but Hull looking for something on the counter-attack here, and they are so good on the transition, but that gets away from Ballooning.
Yeah, well, look, if you're Hull, you know that there are going to be periods, whether it's 2, 3, 5 minutes in games, where Middlesbrough really push, really up the ante, and you've just got to stand firm. I'm pretty confident that would have been the message from Sergei Yakurovich. You can see he got off to a decent start, and it levelled off a little bit, but the last 10 minutes they're playing the game in the part of the pitch that they want to, Middlesbrough, but without really troubling, well, without troubling or Pandora in the Hull goal at all.
Strelets picking up a really intelligent position. Here's Whittaker. Britain will try and keep Borough on the front foot here. Britain forces the corner. Middlesbrough with ringside seats for this, the Borough fans. They sold out their 36,000 tickets in around about 48 hours as soon as they went on sale. They knew they were back in, and the fixture was happening today. Fry makes his move now, and Fry was lurking at the near post. Ayling will try and latch onto this here. There's McGree. Brown sends that ball in. And just a glimmer for Strelets.
Yeah, like I say, look, it's synonymous with Middlesbrough, that they're knocking on the door without really asking any serious questions. I mean, he's up a little bit late. Very, very difficult for David Strelets there. He doesn't see it till fairly late as well. It's good pressure without being dangerous pressure, I would say.
Yeah, he scored 3 goals in his last 6 games, David Strelets. He had a bit of a struggle in the playoff semi-finals against Southampton, but he's capable of big moments. We've seen that this season. Hull have won 2 of their last 9 games. They had to hold their nerve on the last day to make it back into the top 6, having been elbowed out of the way by Wrexham with 2 games to play. But they did hold their nerve on the final day against Norwich. And then we know what happened against Millwall in the semi-final. Pressure situations. Target. Whittaker trying to set Riley McGree away. Ajayi across covering. Holding off McGree. Keeps off McGree and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's done well there, Sammy Ajayi. McGree was doing well not to foul him, not to give him an easy out.
Maybe a bit of a surprise that Shemi Ajayi came into what was a back 3 against Millwall in that second leg, and that was mainly to try and contain Josh Coburn.
You can see it's Middlesbrough domination in a fashion. Hull, although I think Sergei Yakirovich will be pleased that his team have really held Middlesbrough fairly much at arm's length, he will want a little bit more when they have the football.
When he talks, you listen, Sergei Yakirovich. Forward by Pandor, looking for Ollie McBurney. He's challenged by Dale Fry. He was promised a gift by Sergei Yakirovich if he reached 15 goals, Ollie McBurney. He's on 18. I think he's still waiting for the gift.
Hasn't cashed in yet, no.
There's Whittaker. Malanda. Now target. Ailing. Malanda again. Slater looking to get in and around Malanda as the ball's aimed forward here to David Strelec, and it just got away from him in the end.
Yeah, just for a second, as that ball was in the air, you wondered whether he could pull it down. If he could, a little shooting opportunity. I mean, look, very difficult for the forward.
His own admission, it's taken him some time to settle down into life at Middlesbrough, into the championship, and used to that physicality playing as a central striker, David Strelec. Whittaker was the target there, but the door slammed shut by Slater. There's Bellumi, who looks to get Hull up the pitch, and he's picked out Miller. Miller again. Looking to release Giles on the far side. Who's up against his former club today, Ryan Giles. Miller. Faced by Britton. Driving for the byline, delivers the cross. Louis Coyle having to readjust in the middle. And Bryn having to take evasive action just in case.
That's the first time the Tigers have shown their teeth, isn't it? Not really surprised at the architect of one of the 2 wide players. Miller just floats a lovely ball and allows Louis Coyle to go and attack it. And although this ball is probably dropping over the bar, Sol Bryn can't take any chances.
Hull City's first touch inside the Borough box. Bellumi rolls that corner short, changes the angle. There's a plan in there somewhere. It comes to nothing from Giles.
Yeah, look, it's the ball from Bellumi where it all breaks down. It's fizzed in with pace and it's behind Ryan Giles. But I like the intent.
He's not inquiring as to that set piece, is he, Sergej Jakinovic? So time for the first drinks break. It is so hot out there. 24 minutes in. Fair to say it's been a slow burner, this playoff final so far.
Yeah, a little bit really. We shouldn't really be surprised, I think particularly given the temperature down at pitch level. I do feel that Middlesbrough playing physically within themselves. They're not going mad in terms of the dynamism, playing in little pockets of 2 and 3 minutes here and there. And Hull City, for me, it's all about Hull staying in this game, and the longer it stays at 0-0, the more they're going to fancy their chances.
Well, those that will be heading to the World Cup finals will have to get used to this kind of heat. The wet towels are out.
That's the thing for Hull City. Can they get their wide players on the ball, isolated, 1v1, a little bit more often?
Well, Kim Helberg, a former kindergarten teacher who dreamed of being at Wembley. Dream has been realised. He started coaching in the 5th tier of Swedish football. Now here he is with a shot at the Premier League.
I don't think anybody is really going to be too surprised by that number. Middlesbrough were always going to have much more of the ball than Hull City. But what might surprise a lot of people, and it certainly surprised me, is look at that. Teams that have more than 54%, just the 2 wins. That is a staggering statistic. But Middlesbrough were never going to change their style. And let's have it right. Today, just for today, it shouldn't count for anything.
So, on we go. Middlesbrough did end the regular season 7 points ahead of Hull City. Hull, who, as we mentioned earlier, managed to regain their top 6 position on the final day with a win against Norwich City. A nervy day for Hull, but they got the job done, having spent most of the season in and around the top 6. When you consider where they were just over a year ago, they had to survive on the final day. They drew at Portsmouth to stay up on goal difference. Many of the players couldn't eat their pre-match meal that day. They were so nervous. And now, here they are with an opportunity like this. You never had trouble eating your pre-match meal, did you, Don?
That was something that I didn't have trouble with. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Still don't.
I'm close, mate.
Just looking down below, I've just seen Mo Balumi throw his arms out a little bit. Not really getting him involved. He's not really getting the ball in the areas that he would want it.
Great Lakhdar Balumi, who was once the African Footballer of the Year, scored in the 1982 World Cup finals, Algeria against West Germany. Mo Balumi's dad. Forward by Giles, looking for McBurney, who's watched all the way by Britain on the far side. Miller, I should say, was trying to get to it as well. But right now, a slow pace to this contest in the searing heat of Wembley. Such a huge prize on offer. 200 million reasons why these two are trying to edge out each other today. Moved on by McBurney. Britain.
There's definitely an element of less risk football from Middlesbrough. Callum Britton clearance was a perfect example of that. I think during the season he might have took a touch and maybe turned back and rolled that back to his goalkeeper, but we've just pointed out how high the stakes are.
There's Alan Brown. Malanda. Malanda again, who's played MLS playoff football with Charlotte. Huge talent, captured by Middlesbrough last summer, but Charlotte wouldn't allow him to leave until the end of their season, which is why he didn't arrive until the winter.
This is a little slow passage of play here, but I'm looking at the forwards of Middlesbrough and I'm not seeing any movement, literally zero movement, and that's why the ball's been going sideways and backwards for a minute or two there.
Although having to keep their concentration just in case Middlesbrough do open up some space. There goes Miller. Now McBurney. Coyle. There's Crooks. Shemi Ajayi hunted down by McGree.
I've just been told that Middlesbrough had 20 passes in that little period I just spoke about. They didn't make it as far as the Hull City final third. That's what I'm talking about. Movement ahead of the ball when you're a possession-based team is absolutely crucial.
Target. There's Coyle. Now Ajayi. As I mentioned before, Middlesbrough are a team who like to attack through the middle of the pitch. And it can be negated if you do clog up the middle of that pitch.
Yeah, but they normally do it with such intensity. It can be difficult to cope with. And maybe on occasion that's why they were unable to keep the intensity going.
There's Strelets. Ajayi, though, covering the ground, gets to it. And was then clipped, but again, a glimmer for David Strelets.
Yeah, better movement, spoke about the movement. Keeps himself on side, but that first touch just gets away from him. And we know Shemi Ajayi, very quick player, uses that pace, doesn't he, to get back across and see that danger away. But a bit more of that, movement like that, that's what I'm talking about.
And it's that movement that Middlesbrough do miss when Tommy Conway's not in the team. That ability to run in behind and stretch the pitch.
Well, as good as it gets as a forward when they don't have the ball as well, isn't he, Tommy Conway? And that's why he's a massive miss for them.
Luke Ayling looking for movement. Malanda. There's McGree. Ayling. And again, looking to make sure no spaces appear.
Yeah, they're doing it well. They really have restricted Middlesbrough. That would have been the number one first port of call to get the job done.
There's Coyle. His first time playing at Wembley. Balumi has kept the ball in play. Dale Fry. And tears on the pitch when Middlesbrough were beaten at St Mary's just over a week ago. Whittaker. There's Morris. just having a look at the referee, but he doesn't get what he was looking for.
Yeah, look, I think it was more in hope than expectation. Nothing doing.
Dale Fry taking down everyone. There's Pandor having to keep his cool. Now Whittaker. Morgan Whittaker, who can strike them from distance, more than capable of their spectacular. He's backed up by Morris. Now Brown. Whittaker has stayed down. Aidan Morris. Brown. Whittaker slowly getting back to his feet. Morris. Now Brown. Aidan Morris prompting, probing, trying to open up Hull City.
Well, you can see prompting and probing is exactly the right way to describe it, because neither of these teams just getting in to each other's penalty area. I can tell you, 24 minutes the last time Hull City had a touch in Middlesbrough's box, and 19 minutes the last time Middlesbrough had one in the Hull box, and that's the way this game is just panning out.
Well, there is Achin Ilachale, the charismatic media mogul, owner of Hull City. He may make a TV series out of what's happened in the last couple of weeks. Sergei Yakinovich says he wants Daniel Craig to play him. Bought Hull City for £30 million and is hopeful and longing to take Hull City back to the Premier League. Achin Ilachale. Middlesbrough are tiptoeing forward and they've got the throw. Dale Fry makes his way forward. Landers in there as well. It's thrown to Callum Britton, whose cross is seen off. Ayling. It was Alan Brown who was lurking inside the box, but unable to do much with it.
Yeah, and look, Hull City will be thrilled if Middlesbrough resort to slinging the ball into the penalty area from those kind of areas. Big, strong defenders will love that.
Well, he's been known to the Hull City hierarchy for quite some time, Sergei Yakinovich. He's tended to average 2 points a game in a few of his previous jobs. He walked in and saved Kayserispor from relegation in Turkey last season. And those at the top of Hull like his ability to adapt. He's not wedded to one style of football. He will adapt, and that's what they liked about him when they went after him. They had likes of Liam Rossini in charge, Ruben Sayes, Tim Walter, who stuck to one style of football. But Sergei Yakinovich will change things around. He will adapt to the challenge in front of him. Ballumi trying to set Miller away, and Bryn was on his toes.
Well, right there you have it. That was the moment that Hull City have been waiting for, and they so nearly pulled it off. Well done, Sol Bryn.
Flag goes up this time, which will frustrate Hull City and put an end to that move.
Well, he's applauding his teammates, but I'm pretty sure they should be applauding him here. But in a flash, turn defence into attack, and that pass there and the timing of the run is brilliant. But Sol Bryn, starting position good, awareness good, sees the danger away.
But he does like to make his wingers run in behind Sergei Yakinovich. He was known in Turkey for taking them off earlier matches if they weren't doing what he wanted, which is to make those runs in behind, run forward, play forward. Malanda. Now Whittaker popping up in a central position again. Whittaker. There's Brown. Target is an option on this side of the pitch. Brown faces the other way for now.
Blocking the avenues up really well here. Hull City making it really difficult for Middlesbrough to pass the ball between the lines.
McBurney and Crooks and Bellumi and Miller the shield at the moment. Malanda. McGree. Target with the ball in. Away by Ajayi. Morris. There's Whittaker. Quickly hunted down by Crooks. Now Riley McGree. Aidan Morris. Malanda. There goes Ayling, looking to carry the ball up the pitch again. He's been so good at that this season for Middlesbrough. Pocket of space here for McGree. He tries to pick out Whittaker, who didn't really get anything behind the shot in the end.
It's really good. There's a couple of really good passes in here. That one there from Aidan Morris, and then McGree spots the run of Whittaker, but he's well shepherded there by Charlie Hughes.
There goes Luke Ayling again. McGree driving at Hull City. Riley McGree moving that ball onto Strelets. And eventually ricochets through to Pandor, but Middlesbrough just beginning to find a little bit of joy here.
Yeah, does this hit his own man? Does it hit Morgan Whittaker? Burst from Riley McGree. Excellent. And it does. Catches Morgan Whittaker on the heel there, and we'll never know where that ball was destined.
Did score 20 league goals in 29 games for Slovan Bratislava last season. David Strelets arrived after the season had already begun on Teesside, which again they feel just put him back. He didn't have a pre-season with Middlesbrough, but he came with big expectations. There's Miller for Hull City. Bellumi onto his favourite foot.
Well, I think if that had found the back of the net, I wouldn't have wanted to be Riley McGree, because where do you know where Bellumi wants to go? Onto that left foot. That is so passive from Riley McGree. It's unbelievable. Look, Bellumi can't find the net, can't hit the target, but McGree will need to stop that. Otherwise, may pay a price.
And he was promoted to the top division in Portugal with Farense, Mo Bellumi. And he can be potent with that left foot of his. But at the other end, there is Riley McGree for Middlesbrough. Target. No way past Coyle. Target again. Riley McGree. McGree's ball in. Pandor was stretching. And he managed to deal with it.
I think that's the most has been exerted, isn't it? Over Pandor. Really important touch from the goalkeeper.
Just signs, though, that this game is coming to life.
Yeah, look, they're playing in little bursts, Middlesbrough. I understand why. But they're really effective when they inject a little bit of tempo. It's a good hand from the goalkeeper just to dig that cross away. Middlesbrough did have a player coming round at the far post.
Subject of hot debate when Liam Rosenior was the Hull City boss, because Liam Rosenior wanted to play Ryan Allsop, who is excellent with his feet, and Achinila Chale, the owner, wanted Ivo Pandor to play. Ajayi with the back heel. There's Bellumi. Coming to life in this contest. Bellumi somehow emerged with the ball. McBurney. Now Coyle. McBurney. McBurney spraying the ball around the pitch. Here's Giles. Now Miller. Miller again. McBurney waits in the middle, amongst others here, including Crooks. McBurney in a scrap, tries to get to it! And did that clip off the woodwork? The closest yet.
Well, it does look over on that left-hand side between Miller and Giles. They're the ones that might make it happen for Hull. It's a brilliant delivery. And you have to say, Malanda does well, look, fights and scraps with Ollie McBurney, who gets his head on it. And the striker desperately unlucky. In fact, it comes off the back of Malanda, and that's what takes it up and onto the crossbar. But that's the biggest moment of the game so far.
Into 3 additional minutes. And it's the east end of Wembley where the Hull City fans are, which is making the noise right now in football's greatest theatre. There's Malanda. He's playing for Las Palmas last season, Ollie McBurney. They beat Barcelona away from home, beat Atletico Madrid, drew with Real Madrid, but were relegated.
Wouldn't have had to face too many strikers like him over there, would they? Fair.
Target has made the dash forward here, and Target gets something on it. Ajayi in the way for Hull. There's McBurney. Brooks has made a run through the middle here, but he's not seen for now, or at least the ball does not come his way, so he retreats as Giles finds Miller instead. Malanda.
Just a bit of encouragement for Hull City at the end of this first half.
Well, they are a team who've been so clinical this season, Hull City, up until the final few weeks of the season. And that clinical touch just evaded them. Lumi with the throw. McBurney again looking to leave his calling card. Slater there too, and Bryn gets to it. He's looking for the quick release as we head towards the break at Wembley. Whittaker. He's linked up with Strelets. It's David Strelets. Strelets! Middlesbrough's best moment yet.
Well, it's excellent all round because Sol Bryn catches the ball. They'd left Morgan Whittaker up so that he could go early. They did. And David Strelets does so well here against a couple of Hull defenders. Just drags that shot a little bit, just pulls it wide of that post. And that's the most excitement we've had, isn't it, the last 5 minutes of the half?
Yeah, it is coming to life, but that is the end of the first 45 minutes. A slow burner, but right towards the end there, Hull City striking the frame of the goal through Ollie McBurney via the back of Addison Malanda. And then Middlesbrough on a quick release up the pitch, finding David Strelets, who fired wide. At the break at Wembley in the Championship playoff final, it is Hull City 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Tremendous day for this homegrown Borough boy. Hayden Hackney back in fitness and on the bench, going through a ginger warm-up at half-time. Maybe he'll have a big take in the second half. It's the biggest second half of the season so far. It could all end today with one of these sides, of course, in the Premier League. Can that man make the difference? Second half comes next. No shots for either side in the first half of this Championship playoff final. Let's take a look at the way the game ebbed and flowed in the opening 45 minutes. Tigers fans arms folded, just looking at what's going on so far. That's the tale of the statistical tape, Joe B. What would they have said at half-time? It's the biggest 15 minutes of the season for both managers, isn't it?
Yeah, I think from Hull's perspective, it's just trying to get up the pitch a little bit higher. Again, we spoke before the game about understanding not going to have loads of the ball, but for me, it's probably been a little bit too easy for Middlesbrough at times when they've been inside that whole half, and I think they just need to try and get some more support up to Ollie McBurney. They've got good options to come off the bench, so I certainly expect, as the game wears on, Hull to come into it a little bit more, and we see that momentum shift a little bit.
Has the tempo reflected the conditions, Gary? Because obviously we've talked about the weather. The shade's coming over now at least one half of the pitch. Will that make a difference?
I think it'll make a difference. I think it's also reflected the two styles of the teams. I think Hull have been happy to sit in and block, essentially. And Middlesbrough are happy to be slow at times in possession. I think they need to speed it up. Maybe the sun going in, maybe it definitely feels a little bit cooler in here. I think that'll probably help both teams as the game goes on.
Okay, the second half of the Championship playoff final right here at Wembley. It's Hull City 0, Borough 0. No changes for either side going into the second half, and there's definitely no changes in our commentary team. Gary Weaver, you went really early before, so let's go with Mike Dean, Don Goodman, and back to you, Gary Weaver.
Thank you, David. Well, 16 of the last 25 Championship playoff finals have been decided by one goal. They are notoriously tight. Sergei Yakirovic's team threatening right at the end of that first 45. Middlesbrough Don seeing plenty of the ball, but as Gary Rowett just mentioned there, they need to quicken things up, get more of a spark.
Yeah, look, I do think that the heat has played a part in the decision. Were Middlesbrough, for me, were they going to go for it and try and win the game in the first half and expend energy? And if they hadn't got the noses in front, they'd be vulnerable. Or did they have to play it a little bit less dynamic? And that's what it looked like to me. As for Hull, I think they've got threats out there. They're still carrying threats. More balls out wide, more quality deliveries, and you know that McBurney will get on the end of at least one or two.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting start to the second half. Well, let's not forget that these two have had a much disruptive build-up to this Championship playoff final.
Yeah, he doesn't get blocked off, does he, Strelets? Sami Ajayi, job was to block him there.
Which Evil Pandor made sure he knew about after the event. So no changes by either team at the break. A reminder that Middlesbrough do have Hayden Hackney on the bench. We're going to see how much game time he will have in his legs, having not played since mid-March.
Well, it is fascinating that Middlesbrough have Hayden Hackney on the bench, the star player of the Championship. But actually, when you look at it, Hull have a stronger bench than Middlesbrough. More players that they can call on of real quality, I would say.
Yep, the likes of Joe Gelhardt, Lewis Kumas, John Lundstrom's on there as well. Hugely experienced player, and that is what Hull went after last summer in terms of their recruitment. Experienced players, ready-made players. They've been placed under a transfer embargo which affected what they could do. There's Morgan Whittaker. Well, did that hit Strelets? No, it's a corner.
Oh. I think the referee gets this right. It's a brilliant spot, but from that little long ball, a lovely little cushioned header, and that's Morgan Whittaker's eyes lighting up. Can he hit it hard? Can he hit it low? Yes, he can. That is a very important deflection. That was travelling.
Middlesbrough attacking the end where the Hull City fans are. Hull fans in their usual end, the East End. Target with the delivery. And it's sent behind by McBurney. Brilliant ball in though.
I just don't know whether that was the plan, the flick onto the far post where Dale Fry was, because look, no Middlesbrough players anticipate and get back into a goal-scoring area, which surely, had it been the plan, somebody would have.
Well, McBurney usually key in these kind of situations for Hull in making the first contact defensively. Target delivers again towards that far post, and again it was Dale Fry lurking with intent.
He is a powerhouse in the air. This time it arrives directly at him rather than for a flick on, and it's a little bit of a mismatch at the far post, isn't it? Uses his strength and muscle, gets a good full head on it. So Regan is trying to mark him. I mean, that is what you call a mismatch. And that's arguably Middlesbrough's best chance of the game.
Dale Fry at Teessider holds his head as he wheels away, having had an opportunity at the far post there for his beloved Middlesbrough. No holding back there from Slater or Ayling, and both back on their feet and both bang hands with each other. Mutual respect from the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Good honest challenge. Firm but fair. Felt it though. Full-blooded. He has this little touch here, and that invites the challenge from Slater.
Regan Slater cost £50,000 when Hull City signed him from Sheffield United, and Sergei Yakirovich was honest with him when he came in at the start of the season and said you're probably fourth or fifth choice in the midfield area, but Regan Slater won him over.
He's had a super season, along with an awful lot of his teammates. It's a remarkable effort for Hull City to get themselves into the top six.
Ajayi. Fry. Strelets hits the deck. Slater's there again for Hull. There's John Egan. McBurney, the inevitable target here, in combat with Dale Fry. Now Giles. Miller. It's the shaded half of the pitch that Hull City are attacking. Crooks. Giles with that cross, and Bryn was concerned.
Well, I'll tell you what, every now and again you see one of those intended crosses just nestle in that far corner. Sol Bryn there. Happy to see that go wide. It wasn't a million miles away.
A couple of spells at Middlesbrough. Ryan Giles, the second one not so successful as the first time around. Michael Carrick was a big fan of his, and Michael Carrick was at the helm at the Riverside.
Striker's dream, just the calibre of the delivery, usually right on the money.
McGree, loose from him. Ajayi. There's Bellumi looking to cause trouble for Middlesbrough. Coyle on the outside. Crooks free in the middle. And unable to direct his header on target. And it goes behind off Miller.
That's really well worked by Hull City. A much livelier start to the second half than it was the first, hasn't it? Lovely little clip, picked out beautifully by Coyle. It's a bit of a floater, and you look where he actually ends up heading it, not far from the penalty spot. Going to take something really special.
There's Alan Brown. Who's usually a bit of a lucky omen in the EFL playoffs. The Sunderland squad, which won the Championship playoff last season. He's won the playoffs for Preston North End as well. Not so fortunate when it came to the World Cup playoffs, though. Which cuts deep with him, as you can imagine. There's Giles. Now Crooks.
Sergei Yakirovich will be reasonably pleased to see that. It's Hull that have a little bit more of the territory. Carrying the threat as well.
This could be one shot at greatness. A chance like this may not come around again. Neither wants to leave here with regrets.
He's heavily involved, isn't he, Regan Slater? I kind of felt the midfield area was going to be really important, not allowing Aidan Morris in particular to dominate this game of football, because that's what he's capable of.
The £200 million question: who will take the final place in the Premier League next season? Hayden Hackney looks like he's Premier League bound anyway, no matter what happens here, but he would love to take his team, his club, his people back to the top tier.
That's another huge decision that Kim Hellberg will have to make, won't it? Because there is the real possibility of extra time. So when you're looking at Aidan Hackney can only manage a certain amount of minutes, you have to factor that in as well.
Ayling trying to hold up Bellumi. There's the Ayling flop.
Forwards fall for it all the time, don't they?
Whether it's Bristol City, whether it's Leeds, whether it's Middlesbrough, he takes the Ayling flop everywhere. A shake of the head from Mike Dean to our right. There's Morris. Strelets linking up nicely with Britton. Now Whittaker. Strelets wants it now. Strelets gets it. And Strelets was seen off in the end.
That's brilliant defending. Really good. Charlie Hughes.
Ajayi looking to release Miller. That was the target. That was the intention. Brown moving up the pitch. He runs into Shemi Ajayi. Fantastic feet from Bellumi. McBurney waits in the middle here, and Dale Fry's in the way. Now this feels like a game.
Yeah. It's almost like a half-time. Both head coaches have said, look, we need to be more adventurous. We need to be more risk-taking when we have possession of the ball, and that's made for a much more exciting first 10 minutes to the second half.
Well, this is there for both of them. As Dom mentioned earlier, this in effect is Middlesbrough's third opportunity. They were in the top two, they faded, they lost the playoffs, reinstated though after Southampton were shrouded in shame in the end. And for Hull City, they weren't expected to be here. The target that Achinil Achali gave to his management team and the players in the summer was top 10.
I think quite a few people, myself included, even raised the eyebrow at that. Top 10 with respect.
Alan Brown. Brown again trying to hold off Miller. There's Ayling. Whittaker. Miller's after him. Miller gets to him. Legal challenge, says the referee.
Absolutely spot on, Jarrod Gillett. Poor from Morgan Whittaker.
This is Coyle looking to switch play and pick out Liam Miller. That is how the Canadian have up his sleeve here. Giles is on the outside, just in Miller's space. Crooks. Bellumi with the flick. John Egan. There's Ajayi. Slater. City attacking the Dean Windass end of Wembley. That's where he struck back in 2008 against Bristol City.
I was here. You were? I was here for Hull's next one as well. I'll be charging them if they win today.
Don, that doesn't surprise me. But as for Middlesbrough, 5 visits to Wembley, no victories, just a 1 goal for Fabrizio Ravanelli. In the 1997 League Cup final draw against Leicester, Middlesbrough lost the replay at Hillsborough. That's the only time Middlesbrough scored a goal at Wembley. They're looking to break that curse today.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Getting a run like that at a venue like this. But the reality is it shouldn't be any factor whatsoever as far as today's game is concerned.
Well, Sunderland used to have a similar record, didn't they? And Brentford.
Brentford, yeah.
Callum Britton. There's Morris. Britton through the gap for Whittaker, who tried the fancy flick, comes to nothing.
He just has to get hold of the ball for his team.
Miller moving up the gears here. Likewise, Luke Ayling, who timed that to perfection.
Outstanding. Brilliant from Luke Ayling.
He really feels rejuvenated this season, playing in this centre-back position as opposed to right-back, where he spent a lot of his time. We're hearing that Hull City are considering a change here. Joe Gelhardt has been summoned. Off the bench to great effect in the second leg of their semi-final win against Millwall. This is Brown.
It's all flicks and tricks when really you just need to be getting hold of the ball, those Middlesbrough forwards.
Riley McGree, Morgan Whittaker on the follow-up is Strelets. No way through right now, but Middlesbrough are rising up here. Britton. There's Miller. He steps away from Morris and then is caught by Britton. Play is waved on by the referee.
Good advantage.
Well, perfect ball to pick out Bellumi. McBurney trying to make up the ground in the middle. Bellumi onto his stronger left foot. It's Bellumi! And it's straight at Solbrin.
Let's give the referee Jared Gillett some credit. Played an advantage there. Allowed Hull to get on the front foot. Warming up in here.
Now this feels like the Championship. A difficult first half for both in the searing heat at Wembley here. So much at stake. The disruptive build-up for both. Which is probably why we saw the first half the way we did see the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Bellumi effort there was the first shot in target after an hour. That both sets of forwards can do much better than what we've seen so far this afternoon.
There's Liam Miller, who may be coming off shortly for the arrival of Joe Gelhardt. Hughes. Shemi Ajayi. Ajayi. The cross, which is mishit. The thumbs up, though, for McBurney for the intention. Dean Holden just giving the final instructions there to Joe Gelhardt. So confirmation of the change. Liam Miller withdrawn. And a chance for Joe Gelhardt, who has loved his time at Hull City, having arrived there from Leeds United. And again from Leeds. Gelhardt comes on.
Yeah, terrific replacement, isn't he? He won't be happy at being sub, but this is his chance. Make himself a hero forever at Hull.
So a chance for Joe Gelhardt to show what he is all about. And he's taken his chance at Hull this season, 15 goals to his name. Riley McGree looking to drive at the heart of Hull City. He's found Alan Brown. Morris, Britton. Nice ball in, but comfortable for Pandor.
So one thing I have to say, the quality of the delivery from the wide areas, particularly from Middlesbrough, has not been good at all. They've either hit the first man, or that was catching practice, or Pandor.
When Kim Hellberg arrived at Middlesbrough, his job was to replace Rob Edwards, who headed off to Wolves, but also to add a bit more attacking intensity to Middlesbrough's play. Defensively, Rob Edwards has done a fabulous job making Middlesbrough solid, difficult to beat. And Kim Hellberg was tasked with adding the attacking flair to their game. And when they're on it, they are on it, and a joy to watch Middlesbrough. Crooks. Gelhardt. Slater. Ajayi. Coyle with the cross, away by Dale Fry. Moved on by Whittaker. The roar for Hayden Hackney. He's been summoned by the Middlesbrough bench.
Well, it's not just the lift that gives the fans. It's a lift that his teammates will get as well.
Brown. It's looking like David Strelets will be withdrawn. There's Britton. Ayling. Hayden Hackney being serenaded by 36,000 Teessiders at Wembley. Morris. Now Britton. Whittaker. Strelets just trying to readjust his position inside the Hull City box, now just outside of it, waiting for the ball to come his way.
Oh, look, they're having to prompt and probe. Be patient here.
McGree. There's Whittaker. Whittaker trying to outwit Giles, who has gone down as the ball clipped behind. Goal kick is the outcome.
Now then, is that cramp? Is it something more? Morgan Whittaker there, got to fancy your chances, but not sure why it's a goal kick. Looks like cramp for Ryan Giles.
Yeah, the officials felt that just clipped off Morgan Whittaker, and behind Giles being attended to. There's Hayden Hackney, who has been out since the middle of March. The last time he kicked the football for Middlesbrough was against Bristol City. He left the pitch injured. They were 1-0 up and they were second in the table that particular day.
Conceded a 95th minute equaliser from a corner, didn't they, that day? The decline.
2 wins in 10 games without him. The players now having a drinks break again in the Wembley heat. Adi Vivash, who lost the Championship playoff final here with Coventry 3 years ago, giving Hayden Hackney some more instruction. And Hull will have known that this was coming, and a chance for them to have this break, use this break, just to inform their players or reassert their message, reaffirm their messaging about what they were going to do when Hayden Hackney came on.
Yeah, look, I would have suggested that they would have prepared for this scenario, whether it be from the start or whether it be as it is now. Hayden Hackney comes from the bench.
Yu Hirakawa being ready by Hull City.
We are going into that period of the game where players are going to start feeling tired. Players are going to start going down with cramp. We saw the physical decline in Middlesbrough in both those playoff games against Southampton. Have to use their substitutes wisely, these head coaches.
A Teesside roar rises up into the Wembley sky as Hayden Hackney comes on to replace David Strelets. He may well have thought he played his last game for Middlesbrough when they were knocked out of the playoffs initially. He was there that night, injured, couldn't play a part, but Hayden Hackney is a wanted man. Premier League clubs after him. He's hoping to get to the Premier League with Middlesbrough. And he'll provide that ability to drive with the ball and attract a bit more attention as well, which could free up space for someone else.
A tight game like this, what it requires, isn't it? A ball carrier, somebody that can drop a shoulder, beat a man, open up other bits of space. This is why they've missed him, because he is simply sensational. It's with and without the ball. That's the big thing. Can do it all.
A bit of pressure on those Redker shoulders. Melanda. There's Riley McGree. McGree again. Here is Hayden Hackney. Morgan Whittaker, who right now is playing through the middle. Teesside voices filling the air at Wembley as Middlesbrough surge forward here. John Egan in the way for Hull. McGree stepping across the path of Slater and gets the free kick.
Yeah, excellent. Riley McGree, but he stays down. Again, he's another player not long back from injury. You wonder how long he's got in the locker physically.
And he's a player who can go under the radar for Middlesbrough, Riley McGree. Not to Middlesbrough and those inside the club and those that watch the team on a regular basis. But Riley McGree, an important player for Middlesbrough, and his facial expression right now tells you that this could be the end of his afternoon here.
Yeah, look, he sprints back, uses his body well, gets his arm across, wins the ball, gets fouled, but it's the way he falls down there. It's not normal sort of fall, which makes you feel, clutches the back of that left hamstring.
Well, a player that's had so much trouble with injuries, Riley McGree, hamstrings amongst them. And they'd only just brought on Hayden Hackney, but Middlesbrough will now have to plot another change here.
Like I said, not long back from injury, and that physical exertion over the 2 legs and extra time against Southampton. The heat here, the ground that he's covered, all be factors maybe. Well, Hull City plotting changes as well. Hirakawa's been ready for quite some time. But just going back to the Hull backroom staff there, Dean Holdme, just caught a glimpse of him. He has been absolutely important for Hull City, brought in because of his championship experience, his knowledge, and he's been key in Hull City's rise. Yeah, they've been a good team, haven't they? You know, we first came across Sergei Yakirovic when they came together and clashed in the technical area in Turkey. They confronted each other, and Sergei Yakirovic thought, I like the fire in his belly. So here they are now on the same team. Sontia Hansen looks to have got the nod here for Middlesbrough as Riley McGree leaves the scene, crestfallen. Yeah, disappointed. Now he'll be saying a little prayer. His teammates can get the job done.
Substitution for Middlesbrough, replacing number 8, Riley McGree, is number 27, Sontia Hansen.
So Sontia Hansen comes on as Riley McGree heads straight down the tunnel. A double change imminent now from Hull City. Hirakawa coming on, as well as the returning Cody Drameh.
Substitution for Hull City, leaving the field number 3, Ryan Giles.
So Ryan Giles, who went down a few minutes ago, he is taken off. And on comes Hirakawa.
He'll be replaced by number 13, Hirakawa.
And also making way is Mo Baloumi. We did wonder how much game time he'd have in his legs after his hamstring trouble. Baloumi withdrawn and Cody Drameh is on. Into the final 15 minutes of this championship playoff final. Nothing right now can separate Hull City and Middlesbrough. Crooks doing the defending. Brown. Hayden Hackney managed to dig that ball out. Ayling gets something on it. Likewise, Pandor. There's Brown again, being hunted down by Matt Crooks, who was a bit of a Borough hero during his time at the Riverside Stadium. Signed by Neil Warnock.
He would have known he would have had to cover the ground this afternoon himself, and Regan Slater in that midfield area. Middlesbrough love to play through.
Hayden Hackney. Hansen. Trying to guide that ball into the path of Britain. So right now for Hull, Drameh is playing on the right. Louis Coyle's moved over to the left, and Hirakawa playing ahead of him. Malanda. There's Ayling. Dale Fry. Morris. Ayling. There's Hackney. Britton just holding his run, and Hackney tried to smuggle it through to him. McBurney. Gelhardt. Dramé. Jai made the offer further forward.
Going into that period in the game where you do feel one goal. Get the job done here.
As we said earlier on, 16 of the last 25 Championship playoff finals have been decided by one goal, the tightest of margins in the game of games. There's Sonja Hansen.
Just inching forward, Middlesbrough, but do have credit to Hull there, keeping a disciplined line.
Well, Hansen's after this. Sonja Hansen, and Pandor got something on that. The flag is up anyway.
Well, I think that will give him a sense of relief, because there it was, the big moment. An injection of dynamism, run, and that's a brilliant decision by the assistant referee. It's also a brilliant save by Pandor, who wouldn't have known the flag was going to go up. The goalkeeper, look at that. Outstanding goalkeeping.
But that little movement in behind, albeit offside in the end, just provided something a little bit different. But Hansen just gone too early. But Pandor was sharp. And the flag negated it all anyway. There's Coyle operating from the left side now for his hometown club. Hirakawa. Hughes. With the cross. Gelhardt will try and make something of it. And he almost did make something of it.
Yeah, none of his teammates gambled. This is brilliant from Joe Gelhardt, because he's in a wrestling match with Matt Targett at the far post. Targett feels like he's done enough, but Gelhardt, initiative to spin and take that shot, that really caught everybody by surprise.
He's a Scouser from Netherton, a big Liverpool fan, Joe Gelhardt, looking to secure a piece of Wembley history. Hansen. Lovely touch initially from Morris, and then Brown to Britton. This is kind of area where Middlesbrough have seen plenty of the ball.
Yeah.
Hansen. Britton. Ayling.
They're being forced sidewards and backwards. It's a real testament to that shape and the discipline of those Hull City players, having to really concentrate here.
One slip and that could be it. A season gone, a chance in a lifetime gone. Ayling. Britton looking to hold off Hirakawa. Aidan Morris picking up the baton. Away by Hughes.
It's been a theme, recurring theme. Poor cross.
Hirakawa after the Gelhardt. Held off Ayling. Hirakawa driving at Middlesbrough. And there's Aidan Morris doing Aidan Morris things.
Outstanding. Often goes under the radar, doesn't he? all season because of how amazing Aidan Hackney's been, but Aidan Morris not far behind him this season. He has been brilliant.
Approaching the final 5 minutes of this championship playoff final. Aidan Hackney. This is what he likes to do, drive through the gaps. The referee's played the advantage as Britain picks up. There's Crooks. Hirakawa. Coyle.
Well, have a look. The game has panned out, and you see that we've had one shot on target. It was catching practice, wasn't it? Baloomy shot, took a deflection. It's been tight, it's been tense, it's been nervous. Is there one big moment left?
They do have a thing called the Pep Zone at Hull City after Pep Guardiola, where they try and work themselves into the best possible shooting position. You mentioned they have been clinical this season because they have worked themselves into really good shooting positions when they've taken the opportunity. But today it has been tough. But yeah, it's called the Pep Zone, the Golden Zone at Hull. Shemi Ajayi. Ajayi again, just stretching. There's Coyle. Hirakawa. Coyle wants it back. Hirakawa continues. That takes a nick as it goes towards the far post, and Aidan Hackney looking to help out defensively, and McBurney sliding in.
These are two of the division's top scorers, and it might surprise some people how well Hull have done in terms of their attacking numbers. I think the ruthlessness is what stands out there, isn't it? That shot conversion. They were Championship's joint lowest scorers last season. Again, what a job Jukurovic has done.
He's won titles with Dinamo Zagreb. He's managed in the Champions League. Referee Jarry Gillett wanting a word with Sontje Hansen and Charlie Hughes.
Just a little bit of afters off the ball coming together there. Hansen not happy, has a little shove, nothing too aggressive, Mike.
I thought you'd gone for a coffee, Mike. Fired forward by Ayling, who's neighbours with Ollie McBurney. Share a ride home. Well, are we heading towards extra time? It looks that way right now. 2.5 minutes of normal time to be played.
I don't want to worry Middlesbrough fans, but they did concede in this part of the game, in the final 9 games, a lot of goals after the 85th minute that really cost them automatic promotion. In reality, 6 points they dropped in those final 9 games at this time of games.
A team which has spent over 200 days in the top 2. There's Sontje Hansen. It's Aidan Morris. Looks to shoot by the Borough fans. Yet to score for the Middlesbrough fans.
Yeah, but look, it was worth a go. He had time, he had space, chance to line one up. You just hope it is going to be something spectacular rather than an error that settles this contest.
Underneath the Wembley Arch, which was made 15 miles away from Middlesbrough in Darlington. There's Hayden Hackney, no way through. Hull again defending stoutly when called upon. The referee once again playing the advantage. There's Louis Coyle, but he runs out of pitch. Whittaker. It's Whittaker. It's wild in the end.
We've got another Hull player down with cramp here. Louis Coyle.
Yeah, Louis Coyle. Yeah. In need of some running repairs here.
Punishing. I mean, look, even in normal conditions, it's hard enough physically playing in a Wembley final, but these are extreme conditions. The heat searing.
Well, Joseph out of this one after being injured in the semi-final second leg at Millwall. Louis Coyle, who was playing for his family and his dad Chris, who passed away in 2022. An emotional day for the Hull City captain here today, carrying his dad with him in his heart as we head into 8 additional minutes. The Coyle family, a true sporting family from Hull. Which way is this game going to turn? 8 additional minutes as Britain moves forward, and he plays it through towards Hayden Hackney. Hackney, Hansen, Hackney again. A goal now surely wins this. Hackney with the ball in. Morris, Hackney. Brown trying to find a way through. Ajayi not holding back. Oh, with a player down again here. And then Ayling hits the deck. Johnny Hughes is the player down.
Yeah, the clearance smacks him flush on the head. That's understandable. Middlesbrough prompting, probing. It's all in that tight area. And then Ajayi cleans out the ball, cleans out his teammate.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful here with Charlie Hughes. Well, it was always going to be tense this particular day, and again, when you consider what's happened in the build-up to this, unprecedented.
I think we can safely say we will never have anything like that happen again. I wouldn't have thought, because I would imagine that the EFL will roll out some sanctions that are laid down there in black and white for people to know what the punishment will be, and it will be severe.
Well, look, you feel for the Southampton supporters who couldn't be here today. 80
Absolutely,
miles south of here, an entire city left heartbroken by the acts of a few who were supposed to represent their club and their city. And Southampton will forever wonder, what if? But this now is about Hull City and Middlesbrough, and the greatest, richest football game of them all. And both sets of supporters who are here rising up to stand shoulder to shoulder with their players. So For now, Charlie Hughes is off the pitch. Hull are down to 10. This is Luke Ayling. Gelhardt. Gelhardt trying to hold off Malanda. And Gelhardt has stood his ground superbly.
He's done really well there, Joe Gelhardt.
Hughes waits to come back on. McBurney. There's Coyle. Hughes is back on now for Hull. They'll back up to their full complement. Yu Hirakawa. He's made room for the cross here, and it's scrambled in! It had to be Ollie McBurney! He's got the eye of the Tiger, and he could be taking the Tigers back to the Premier League. Borough's heart's ripped out in front of the nation. But Ollie McBurney has dreamt this moment, and now Ollie McBurney lives this moment.
Well, I said, didn't I? I hope it's a piece of brilliance rather than a mistake. Is this going to be filed as a goalkeeping error? Sol Bryn really got to go for this. But once it drops to Ollie McBurney, the debate then is whether or not Gelhardt is offside. I don't think so. Mike? Oh, heartbreak for Middlesbrough, but was it written in the stars for Hull City? They have all season long confounded the data and found a way to win, and they are oh so close to the Premier League now. They can reach out and touch it.
Hull City have sent out an amber warning, and Middlesbrough have to take action now. Hull City heading back to the Premier League. Closer and closer. A booking for Ollie McBurney for taking off his shirt in the celebration. He will take that all day long. Jeremy Sarmiento on for Middlesbrough, as is 17-year-old Cruz Iber, a teenage striker, as Middlesbrough look to try and save their season again. Hull making changes. Regan Slater off, Louis Coyle off, John Lundstrom and Paddy McNair. McNair, another former Borough player, on for Hull City. Louis Coyle with a kiss for Ollie McBurney. Ollie McBurney said when he moved in the summer, I am not swapping the Canary Islands for championship mediocrity. He believed in Hull City's unbelievable dream, and they are so close now.
Incredible, truly incredible. Look, there's still time for Middlesbrough. There's way more than the 8 minutes still left when we kick off here.
Well, Middlesbrough have come back from the brink before.
Well, this is kitchen sink time now. And Hull are going to get deeper and deeper. They've got extra defenders on now at the back. They've got to be strong, they've got to be disciplined. If they can see it out, the prize is huge.
Middlesbrough have got to go for this now. Blackpool were the last sixth-placed team to win promotion from the Championship through the playoffs back in 2010 when they beat Cardiff City here. That day it was orange, right now it's amber.
I was here for that one as well.
Are you everywhere?
I mean, a penny for his thoughts. I mean, I thought Gianni Charlie would be a little bit more emotional than that. He probably can't believe what he's seen, the whole City owner, you know. He really probably can't. He's had his critics over his tenure, but he only ever wanted the best for Hull City. I think that was clear. He's nearly got it. Nearly got it.
He looks shattered, drained. He bought the club for £30 million. He promised he'd take them on a journey. That journey could be right to the Premier League unless Middlesbrough can save themselves again. The fight in the corridors of power to have this day. But our Hull about to win the fight on the pitch. Luke Ayling, a neighbour of Ollie McBurney's. Maybe you won't be sharing a car home with him. Britton. Ayling again. We've had 10 additional minutes. Added minutes because of the celebrations as the flag goes up again. And Hull City get the free kick. And the clock ticks down.
Well, Sami Ajayi take a bow. Not one but two crosses into the penalty area there. The big centre-half did his job. He was up against Dale Fry, won the battle. As he won the battle that takes Hull City to the Premier League. They think so.
Dinas, Mo Diame, two playoff winners, two playoff winning goals. Here's Ollie McBurney about to make it a hat-trick at the Dean Windass end of Wembley. The Windass-McBurney end as it stands. Can Middlesbrough rise up again here? Ajayi once again putting himself around. The Premier League is waiting. Sol Bryn dashes forward. Played forward by Callum Britton, and too much on it, and Sol Bryn will have to dash back now, and that could be it for Middlesbrough. A season over with absolutely nothing at the end of it. But the golden gates to the Premier League are opening up for Hull City.
Well, they do confound the fine margins, don't they, Hull City? I can tell you, that is the third shot on target of they've had all season. They've had two 1-0 wins out of 3 shots on target in 3 games against Middlesbrough. It's ruthless. It's brutal for Middlesbrough, but they could not find a cutting edge. And that has been the problem for quite a few months at the end of this season. It's bit them on the bum again.
Not yet. Still time for Middlesbrough. It's the time for one more twist in this championship season. Luke Ayling. Those at the side of the T's and at the side of the Humber, holding their breath right now. And that's out of play from Malanda. A huge roar from those wearing amber and black.
You look at the strengths and the weaknesses of Hull City, and most people would say, look, they're a little bit porous, they concede a lot of goals. In these playoffs, they have been rock solid, and they are almost only the 4th team in Championship playoff history to go through the semis and the final without conceding a goal. Truly remarkable.
Ailing again. Still we play on. Forward by Bryn. We'll have to scurry back now. Crooks had a think about it. There's Hirakawa. Looking to torment Middlesbrough again. It's Crooks, who was looking to seal it in style.
Yeah, should have gone for the corner. Well, got away with it. Surprised they didn't go for the corner, but that should be that.
Hull City have got history here. They've got previous here. And now this generation follow in the footsteps of those who've gone before them. And they walk down the path to greatness. The path to the Premier League. This time Middlesbrough are down and out. The big prize gone. The big money gone. It's Hull City who dared to dream, who are living that dream, who are going to the Premier League.
Well, the first thing I always do in these circumstances is commiserate the losers, because it's not a place for losers, Wembley. But congratulations to Hull City. There were those that in the wake of Skygate said they should have been promoted. No, they shouldn't, because it would have robbed them of this moment right here, a moment that they will never, ever forget, and they can add it to that ever-growing collection of Championship playoff final 1-0 victories.
Ollie McBurney, the hero. He said he did not want to come back to English football for mediocrity. He wanted to win things. He wanted days like this, and he's delivered on a day like this. He's delivered Premier League football for Hull City. Middlesbrough players inconsolable, most notably Sol Bryn, the Teessider, playing for his club. Hayden Hackney in tears too, because this time it may well be the end for Hayden Hackney and Middlesbrough. And Hayden Hackney looks to be heading to the Premier League in any case, but he will not be taking his town with him. For Hull City, this will go long and long into the night. They just about survived last season. Now look at them. They're going to the Premier League. They've beaten Middlesbrough by 1-0.
Well, it's just the one goal, but it means so very, very much. That man came into the Championship this season, and it had to be that man, didn't it? It just had to be Ollie McBurney. The 19th goal of the season, the most important goal that he scored this season, joining Dean Windass and Mo Diame as a hero here for the Tigers at Wembley. Curtis Davies, talk me through that.
Wow, I feel really emotional at the moment. You know, I didn't think I'd actually feel this way. Watching the way the game was panning out, we all thought, you know, it wasn't a game of much quality. Seemed very tired legs out there, obviously tired bodies with the heat and everything. So you're just waiting for extra time and seeing if that one bit of quality can come up. But I did say it'll be a moment. It'll be either a moment of quality in extra time, or it's going to be a mistake. Unfortunately for Sol Bryn, he's the one that makes a mistake. But Ollie McBurney makes no mistake in pointing in the back of the net. And we've spoken about him before the game, the difference maker. Didn't have a lot to do in the game today. Was kind of, you know, almost marked out of it most of the game. But when his moment came, listen, he was there to go and do it. And fair play, he said hold to the Premier League.
My three guests have got so much to say, but there's one man that every single...
So much around it, so much at stake. And again, you look at now what he's going to be able to go and do, lead his team up there, absolutely phenomenal.
And knowing his dad personally, Chris, you know, not only did he have Louis, he had 4 boys that he was taking, one to golf, he's taking one to boxing.
High achieving boys, yeah.
He's playing for Leeds, so he's driving across to Leeds, back and forth, and everything he put into this guy. But this is why he's like he is. This is why his brothers are like they are. Absolute gentlemen, absolute warriors, and the fact this is his hometown club, and he's going to get the honour of, as captain, lifting this trophy. Like I say, I know him personally, I'm very biased, he's an unbelievable character, but this will mean so much to him, so much to his family, but also to the city to see one of their own lifting this trophy.
Very much so. Heartbreak there as well. Tommy Conway couldn't take part in this game. What a huge miss he was for Borough. But look at that. Louis Coyle talks about his father, of course, a father now himself, being able to share these magic moments with those nearest and dearest to him. To lead us through the trophy lift, please take it away, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Louis Coyle, an emotional Louis Coyle, as you can imagine. There's that Chris passing away back in 2022. Chris firmly in Louis' thoughts. These Hull City players walking up the walkway to the stars and taking this club back to the Premier League as those from Middlesbrough watch on. But for Hull, they just kept surprising and surprising, and in the end the surprise was that it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, look, I mean, if somebody would have said before a ball was kicked last August that Hull City would get in the top 6, I think we'd all be mind blown by that. And if somebody would have said not only will they get in the top 6, they'll become the first 6th place team to win it for a very, very long time, I'm not sure many people would have truly believed it, but they've done it, and it's been a team effort, and they've deserved it. And when you think about, this is a talented Middlesbrough team. They did not have a shot on target in the whole game, in the biggest of big games this season. Credit to Hull for the game plan, for the application, because all of that conspired to get them to the Premier League.
Yeah, credit Jarrett Dublin as well, the sporting director, who helped pull this squad together. They had the transfer embargo. They went looking at experienced players, ready-made players to bring them in. Look at Regan Slater, £50,000. He's helped lead Hull to the riches, the prestige. And here's Louis Coyle proudly wearing that captain's armband. Sergej Jakinovic, who's won titles in Croatia and Bosnia, who's managed in the Champions League. He is a fantastic personality, fantastic character, a man manager, a real man manager. Lets the coaches get on with the daily coaching. He oversees it all. He steps in when he has to. But he has really turned the lights on at Hull City again.
Yeah, credit to him. He will be forever etched into the history of Hull City. It's been a monumental effort from an unknown. It was a gamble, wasn't it, after the Tim Bolter experiment went so badly wrong. But they got it right, you have to say, and I have to take credit for that.
Yeah, the Middlesbrough hierarchy, Steve Gibson, Neil Bowser shaking hands with the Hull City players. This is it, the moment that they've dreamt of, that they've run through their heads time after time. Louis Coyle again points to the sky in memory of his dad. A hug for the boss, and also from the owner to the boss. Achin Chale may not want to let him go. He's got a trophy to lift, Achin. Ollie McBurney, the goal-scoring hero, with the biggest goal of his life. He's played in the Premier League before, but to do this on this day at this place is huge. Hull City, from fearing the worst to now joining the best. Last season they just survived. This season they have thrived. And what seemed like the unthinkable is happening. Humble Hull City are going to walk amongst the giants of the English game again. An unprecedented season ends with an unlikely playoff winner. Unforgettable.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody connected with Hull City. Absolutely deserve this victory, and they deserve to take their place in the Premier League. They will enjoy it, and so they should. They have been simply magnificent.
Hull City do not flinch in the playoffs. It's in the DNA. They are heading to the Premier League.
Well, the man there that's masterminded this whole insane journey for Hull City, Sergej Jakinovic, coming into the Championship. He talked about what a pleasure it was to be first and foremost in English football, and what a privilege it was to lead Hull City in this most testing of divisions, Gary Rowett. You know how tough the Championship is. How good a job has he done?
Absolutely incredible to say that, you know, he's not familiar with the Championship, and then in his first season really to be able to mould a team that haven't spent vast amounts of money, haven't had the riches that some of the other teams have had, but it feels like he's created such a connection, not only to the fans, but to the players. You can just feel it and you can see it. The players love him. He looks like an honest guy. He looks like he'll give you everything. But I also say tactically, it's been a masterclass these playoffs. He's managed these games absolutely phenomenally well.
Well, Don Goodman was talking in commentary, Joby, wasn't he, about how well Gary's saying they managed the games. A bit the first one at the MKM. Not really much to tell between the two sides. A bit of a non-event, if anything. And then they came alive in the second leg, and they've waited very, very late on in this one, but they kept going.
Yeah, and I'll throw in last game of the season as well, a game that they had to win to get into the playoffs. So, again, what he's been able to do, what I loved about him, for a manager who doesn't know English football, hasn't managed it, but he seems to embrace those types of characters, the McBurneys, you know, John Egan's, that experience that's come in and really created, like Gary said, a togetherness, a team spirit. It's so much spoken about these days, about tactics and philosophy, and yes, they're important, but actually grinding through a season, having those people in your dressing room, having an understanding how to get through those tough moments and get through games like tonight. And from a tactical perspective, we felt they might suffer a bit too much today, but the discipline that they showed, again, that togetherness to dig through tough moments on a really, really hot day, knowing that a chance might come at some point, and that takes a lot of doing. It takes a lot of buy-in from that group of players. Clearly they were prepared to run every single inch for him today.
Well, the Hull City boss said before the game that he managed to get 70 tickets for this game. 6 of those, Curtis, were freebies. So money well spent. If they've come all the way from wherever they've come from, they're very happy.
Definitely money well spent. It's always money well spent when you come out of here with a win, definitely. But listen, spoke about him as a manager, spoke about him as a man. What a job this is, you know. Like I say, we keep saying it, but this side only just survived relegation last year, and then you couple that with the embargo, and again, through the embargo, you're integrating players that haven't been there that long, so you're trying to get them with Bernie's, as you said, the Lundströms and the Egans, as experienced as they are, trying to get them on board with, oh, we're going to try this. But they've done it, and it's kind of one of those change rooms when we speak about, again, Joby spoke about earlier, data and performance and all this kind of stuff. You can't beat sometimes characters in the dressing room that are going to self-police, that are going to lead that dressing room from in there, but then you've got that man at the top that, as calm as he is, he's also got the edge to him that you don't want to cross him. So he's got an unbelievable balance, and what a job. Like you did the interview, Krutz, where he just said he loved being in English football. He'll love it even more now he's in the Premier League.
Big credit as well to the owner. I think we've all stood here at certain times during his tenure. I think probably particularly when he let Liam go, who we all thought done a great job. And then to go and get a relatively, certainly to us, an unknown manager, but have that desire about him to maybe go and try something a little bit different. We see a lot of thinking in these divisions where it's the same old, but I think what he's brought with that freshness and new ideas, again, been a fantastic appointment, and you know, one that's really paid off.
An owner, Gary, is very, very important to a manager's success. As Joby says, the way through different managers, they're under an embargo, so they can't buy players. But the running costs of a football club in the Championship are pretty hefty, aren't they? And Ajin's put his money in, and today, my word, does he get that money back and then some?
Yeah, that's why I think it's really difficult to criticise any owner that's prepared to invest so much money for no guarantee of any real success, just through the passion of being at the club and wanting to get it to where they want to be. And of course, sometimes you have to make some difficult decisions, and not everyone's going to like those decisions. But what I would say is it looks like they've got a really good connection, the two. That is absolutely vital at any football club. To have that connection between manager or head coach and the owner, I think is absolutely perfect, and you can see it today.
See it today, it has paid off handsomely and then some, isn't it? Louis Coyle's going to make his way down as the Hull City skipper. And from our vantage point right here, pitch side, there is not a single empty seat in that Hull City end. Not one Tigers fan has even begun to think about the journey back up to East Yorkshire. My word, this place is going to be absolutely bouncing tonight with our flat Hull vowels. So, Hull City promoted to the Premier League. A tactical masterclass over the course of the most treacherous part of the season, and they head back to the top tier. More reaction comes next.